The whole family looked to Nathan now as Sir Ian stepped towards them. Despite their parents' attempt to hide it, their mother's sickness was obvious. "Please, Nathan, my mother needs your help. Do you really think there's hope for her lifting the curse?" Nathan's face grew serious. "I promise all of you, I will do my best to lift it, but it won't be easy. It will take time, and probably many weeks before it's fully gone." Lucius Lightstone nodded his head as he hugged his wife Cecilia and anxiously patted her back. "Whatever it takes, young man, we will support you in whatever way you need." Nathan nodded. The surprise of Lady Lightstone's curse was not a pleasant one, but it would ultimately be advantageous if he could cure it. Then, at least he could show the Lightstones that House Hayfield was a powerful ally, an ally strong enough to take on the Duke should Sir Ian's marriage be called off. Nathan figured he would do his best to help the Lightstones and try to call in their favor in order to get Lucius to end his son's engagement with Bella. Then he would be free to marry Amelia. That was the plan, anyway. "Thank you, sir. I shall do as you wish, but as for the favor, I might one day call upon it in regards to my sister and Sir Ian's engagement to Bella Godricson." Lady Cecilia sighed when she heard Nathan's words. "So this was what this was all about, then. I knew the Hayfields must have wanted something from us when they gave us such a wonderful gift, and when he offered to work on my curse." Cecilia gave her husband a knowing look. Cecilia was not particularly fond of the arranged marriage between her son and Bella Godricson either. She found Bella to be selfish and self-centered, as well as utterly uninterested in her son beyond his looks and noble lineage. This evening, Cecilia had grown even more certain that Bella was the wrong fit for Sir Ian, not because of the elixir of youth, or Nathan's offer to treat her curse, but because of Amelia, and how she looked and acted around her son. What she valued most about Amelia was not her connection to Nathan, but her desire to be with Sir Ian, and the joy she seemed to spark in his eyes, the same type of joy that she always seemed to spark in Lucius. Meanwhile, Lucius looked away from Cecilia's expression. His heart was split in two. How could he not wish for his son to be happy with Amelia? But at the same time, he knew that if he called off the arranged marriage, he would be forced to face the wrath of Duke Godricson himself. Faced with Nathan's earnest words, he could only nod his head and coyly smile. Yes, I understand. I will see what I can do about that." Despite this, Lucius knew in his heart that unless Duke Godricson changed his mind on the matter, there was little he himself could do about it. The Duke wielded thousands of warriors under his banner, and such an outright rejection would undoubtedly be taken as a form of disrespect and could only lead to a conflict that his family might never recover from. Before Nathan could respond, the trumpeter blasted once more, announcing a new late arrival to the party. "Announcing the arrival of Duke Godricson's grandsire, Lord Rodrik Godricson." At the mention of Rodrik's name, dozens of party guests stood up to greet him in the Lightstone family Great Hall. Many of them frantically whispered to each other as they straightened their backs and threw up fake smiles toward the door. "Rodrik Godricson? Do they mean the Duke's eldest grandsire?" As the great doors to the main hall opened wide, everyone in the room stood up at attention, even all the members of House Lightstone, for only Hagar Haraldson was considered Rodrik's equal in status. A snickering voice echoed into the hall from behind the door. "Pardon my intrusion, all, but when I heard that Donna Lightstone was having her 18th birthday party, I knew I just had to be there." The room fell silent, and many lowered their heads as Rodrik Godricson finally strode through the door and into the great hall. It was well known that any lower noble that dared to look Rodrik directly in the face was courting danger. Any prying eyes or funny looks enraged him and led to infamously outlandish punishments. The High Lord Lightstone wiped the sweat from his face as he immediately left the front table and started walking toward his new guest. Apologies, young Master Rodrik. My house has failed to greet you properly. To what do we owe such a magnanimous in-person appearance? Lucius Lightstone flashed a look behind him towards his family, and all of them, even Sir Ian, immediately lowered their heads and stepped forward, away from the head table. They rushed over as a family and greeted Rodrik by the front door. Can't the heir of a fiefdom visit his vassals on a special occasion such as this? Of course, Your Grace. You are always most welcome in our house. Very good, Lucius. Very good. Rodrik smirked and held out a giant red ruby ring. All eyes were on the Lightstones, as Lucius was forced to kneel slowly and kiss Rodrik's ring. Across the room, Nathan balled his hand into a fist. Even from far away, Nathan could feel he was a spoiled brat that meant to cause trouble. Rodrik clearly had other nefarious intentions beyond simply congratulating Donna. Nathan gently grabbed Amelia and tried to get in front of her in order to hide her from Rodrik's view. Amelia, stand behind me, now. As Amelia quickly did as she was asked, Nathan refused to lower his gaze, and instead tried to meet Hagar's eyes in the crowd, but found Hagar to be just as meek as the rest of the party guests. Rodrik Godricson was the only grandsire to Duke Godricson after all, and owned the title of undisputed heir to the future fiefdom of Godricsland. While Hagar held a similar position, his title was heavily disputed, so even he had to slightly bow his head as Rodrik passed by. This was Rodrik's domain, after all. Duke Godricson granted all the high and lower lords their titles, and thus they were all his vassals. He had the supreme ability to take and give power at will. Therefore, nobody in the room dared upset the great duke's relative, even if that meant the 50-year-old patriarch of House Lightstone had to bend the knee and kiss the ring of a spoiled, rotten teenager. As Lucius stood back up, Rodrik turned his ring to the other members of House Lightstone. Donna, Stuart, and Cecilia quickly pecked the rock, but when Rodrik finally reached Sir Ian, he grinned a sinister smile. Sir Ian went to lightly kiss Rodrik's ring, but at the last moment, Rodrik pulled it away from him. No, not like that, Sir Ian. Do it with passion, as if you were alone in a room with Aunt Bella. Go on now. Sir Ian's head hung low with shame as he kissed Rodrik's ring harder. That's it. That's better. You best tell her to thank me for teaching you a lesson in romance, Even members of the crowd frowned at the cruelty of the embarrassment Rodrik was forcing upon Sir Ian. Clearly, there was no love lost between them. Amelia had to look away from Nathan's shoulder, as it made her want to cry.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.